Hello and welcome to Dawntide. This is a new visual novel, and I know nothing about it. I keep seeing it on Twitter, people like it, so it's like, well, okay then, let's record it. Yeah. So I do know that you're the sable. At least I think he's a sable. That's touching the post thing that these two other people are climbing on. You probably don't see my mouse, but yeah. Um, and that's really all I know. So, yeah, I'm going in it as blind as you are. Unless you've already read it, in which case, keep your mouth shut until the end. Anywho, but yeah. So, I guess without further ado, let's begin Dawntide. There's no going back to where we were. But I can still wander our old paths. I follow them back to your house. It shows nothing of itself, but weather-worn foundations and holes in the ground where brambles grow. It was there that you held me still, close to your chest, a moment wrapped in a warm linen, when your fingers slipped between mine. They filled spaces I never knew were there. Recollection squints like a beacon through sea fog, swaying far from the land, but visiting this spot keeps you moored in my mind. Maybe that's not something you want, but you're all I can hold on to. I know these paths lead the same way each time, but maybe one day they won't. I hope that one day I'll find this house rebuilt, and you'll be waiting there. You'll flow around me until all those spaces are filled. Until then, Griff. A screaming hiss jolts me from my daydream. I'm still working. I've made lattes so many times these last few months that I can do it on autopilot. My customer, an early afternoon regular, taps at her phone on the other side of the counter. She comes here on workdays, sometimes between 1 and half 2, takes her coffee to go. It's about as punctual as most people get in Porthwarren. After tapping the bubbles out of the foam, I wiggle my wrist, sending wavy ripples into the cup. A wonky rosette stares back apologetically. Not my best work. I cover it and quickly call the customer. Latte. The regular takes the cup in hand. With a thanks and a half smile, she makes her usual exit to the empty street. The lunchtime rush has passed. The rest of my shift will just bring more customers like this one, if any at all. Elbows on the countertop, I keep the door in my peripheral in case another customer appears. The muffled sound of a laptop keys flutter amongst the strums of music through the speakers around the room. The name of the cafe hangs on a wooden board above a long landscape mirror. The buoy. I send my mirror self a half-hearted way, hoping to brighten his spirits. You're the buoy, Riley. It does very little. I wonder what they'll think of you now. The mirror self doesn't quite know how to answer. He's likely tired. It's his last shift for a week. I decide to make myself busy in the meantime, cleaning the steam spouts, ensuring the shot baskets are empty and drained. Out of a small window at the back of the room, the lopsided hulls of small boats breathe gently on low water. I'm reminded that working in the aroma of fresh ground coffee beans is a comparative luxury on days like this. The last job paid a little more, but the stench of low tide crept into the stockroom. As I shuffle cups on top of the coffee machine, the tap of laptop keys peters out. A dull clap precedes some rustling in a bag. Standing up from their table, a red deer clad in khaki tones trots towards the bar. You ready, Riley? Thought you'd get off at 1:15. Half past. Oh, right. Hazel's in the staff room. She'll be out in a bit. Fair enough. She rests an elbow on the counter and tries to make it not look too obvious that she's eyeing her phone. So, excited? Yeah, kinda. Kinda? I don't know, it's weird. Billy and Ranzo have been doing their own thing for so long. It's going to be a bit strange. It'll be a bit different, sure. But that's good. It's been long enough. Things should be different. I loosen the cord on the froth-stained apron and turn my head around the room. I guess so, yeah. You still worried about the cafe thing? I don't know. It feels weird knowing that you've been out of the county and I'm just, you know. Me and Joe are still here, aren't we? Yeah, but you've got your proper jobs. She looks like she's about to say something, then changes her mind. Look, you've got nothing to worry about. We'll go and get Joe and Billy, then meet Ranzo. They'll be too glad to see you to care about anything else. I feel more a smile form on my face. You're doing good, Rye. We probably should get moving, though. Billy's train gets in at 2:15. I place my folded apron on the counter. The clock at the cash register reads 14:29. Right, I'll go check on Hazel. Apron in hand, I pace between the tables towards the back room. I catch another glimpse of those boats in the shallow water before opening the door to a room where the air is thick with dishwasher steam. Hazel, you're up. It's a steep walk to the station, a thin, straight road with shops on either side, most of which have flats above them. After placing her bag inside the doorway to our flat, Sel closes and double locks the door. She walks back to the street, phone in hand. Still nothing from Billy. Her voice is breathy as we trudge further up the incline. By the way, what time did you come in last night? I didn't hear you. Yeah, just sleeping badly. Went for a walk. I'm starting to regret wearing a sweater. My shirt has formed damp patches that stroke me with chills whenever the wind blows through the yarn. Bad dreams? No, just hard to sleep. You out walking again then? Yeah. A few cars pass us on the thin streets, their engines cutting through the shushing sway of new leaves and the gulls wheeling above. Today should get you worn out. Once at the top, it's comparatively easy walking downhill, and we're able to catch our breaths. Approaching the station, a few cars and cabs are lined up in the taxi rank. Beyond them, another figure comes into view. He paces on the spot, a blue lighter cupped in two hands. He holds it close to his slate beak. The cold wind slaps the frame left and right until his cigarette lights, heaving a relieved drag. His head tips back and whiffs of gray smoke, chased away in the breeze. That's when he sees us, a furrowed face unfolding into a smile. What's on? Good to see you, Joe. Good to see you too, been a while. His voice is glazed with a light southern veneer. He's calm, but tones of excitement break through as he talks. Sorry we're late. Not a problem, so is the train. Stepping closer, the smell of cigarettes grows potent. Hope you've been good. You still trying to quit? Yeah, as you can see, it's going great. Heard anything from Billy? Nope. Thought the master of ceremonies had him wrangled. Keeping his eyes on me, he tips his head sideways to Sel. Sel wanders over to the fence. She peers across towards the monitor hanging from the platform ceiling. Says it's due. Joe takes a puff of a cigarette. Can't trust the schedule, Sel. You know that. You got the afternoon off then? Yeah, bit hard with the exhibition coming up. But I got a few days off actually. What's the theme this year? Boats? Joe's smirk sizzles with the burning tobacco. Who told you? They're not just using the same stuff as last year. Take the old pictures out of the back room and sling them up, right? Nah, it's a big one this year. Anniversary. Bringing out all the artifacts from the back room. Photos, papers, bits from the Kemper. Mr. Penn Blyden even got one of the old lifeboats reconstructed. Sounds like a lot of work. Yeah, mostly paperwork for me. Some people visit annually, so it's gotta be good. He tweezes a couple of small, pale feathers from under his chin. Don't worry too much about it. If they're traveling in each year, they're probably happy enough to see the boat. They're like train spotters, aren't they? It's coming! The alarm of descending barriers rings out and the faint sound of steel wheels screech around the bend. Speaking of... Joe, Sal, and I walk around to the station entrance, a small brick building fitted with sliding glass doors for a brush of Modernity. Sal is fiddling with her phone again. The train slides to a halt at the platform, though the number of carriages exceeds its length. Above the barriers are glossy pictures of beaches and meadows, advertisements for the sights around the county. Most alighting here stay on the platform, likely waiting for another train to whisk them away to somewhere scenic. Some passengers start to file through the gates. We keep our eyes peeled for a Lapin figure. A good number of people pass us by, but there's no sign of him. Maybe he's in first? It's right at the back. I guess. Fuck's sake. We both turn to see Sal, glaring down at her phone. He missed a train. What? And he didn't message us before? That's what I said. Sal scans the screen, spitting out a sharp sigh of exasperation. She reads aloud. Was out of bat, had to charge it when I got on the next one. Unbelievable. She struts over to the fence and cranes her neck towards the platform. Next one's not for 45 minutes. I'm not sticking around for that. Me neither. I'm telling him to meet us at the pub. This seems to perk Joe's plumage. Better in than out in this weather, eh? A chill wind nips at the back of my neck. Can't argue with that. Or, since Billy's late, we should meet Ranzo properly at the docks. Sal takes a moment, pressing her fingers to her forehead as she paces back. Sure, that works. Then we can get the drinks in. Sounds good to me. Let's head down. We head east towards the docks, cutting around the back of the town, following the path of the railway. Midway down, the chug of a freight train grows louder until it passes us up on the old stone viaduct. Pillars of light scan over Sal and Joe, cast from the gaps in the container carriages. Looks like that one's late too. Ship's not, though. Joe raises a bumpy talon and points towards the funnel of a cargo ship which pokes out above distant trees, straddled by large cranes. That's one thing, at least. I was on time. You weren't. Joe says with pride. It's a turn up for the books. Sal takes the jibe with a grin. It's embarrassing. You said it yourself, Sal. Everything's late. Sal's smile gives in a little as her eyes meet the top of the trees. I know. It's just been a whole thing to set this up. And it's going to be fine. We'll get Ranzo, head to the chariot, and wait for Billy. I'm going to text him so that he knows where we are. Wait, I thought we were gonna surprise him. I'd really rather keep this simple. Come on, he's been following instructions all week. It's been a long time since I've seen Ranzo. He loves a bit of fun, but he can also be quite sensitive. I'm not really sure. I don't know enough about these characters to know what to pick. But I would prefer to be told people are coming over than to be surprised. Sal's got a point. He might be out already. Fine. I'll text him now. Sal starts typing out a message. How's the job going, Rye? Not bad. Pretty quiet most of the time. Bit boring. Better than stressful though, right? Yeah, I mean, it's not stressful. Right. I know how it is. I can sense he's trying not to push any buttons. He soon changes the subject. Do you know where Ranzo set off from? North Koyo, I think, across the pond. Didn't he tell you? Nah, don't really chat that often. That tracks. Ranzo's great, but you do have to push him for a text response. I scrubbed through my messages with him. There's a couple of music links I sent the other day, not read. Then a message wishing him a good trip over, not read. Then there's a brief back and forth around his departure from the dock, littered with abbreviations and typos. Wait, no, South Koyo. He's had his fun in the sun then. It's still nice and bright out, but even between the valley of the viaduct and the tall houses, there's still that bite in the air. Hope he got it while he could. You'd think he'd be bundled up in a winter jacket. Hope he got it while he could. You think he'll be bundled up in a winter jacket? If I know him, he'll try to look all hard and just wear a t-shirt. That does sound more like him. Aw, I thought you were going to argue so that I could bet a pint on it. I'll bet. I offer a handshake. Joe reciprocates without hesitation. But I'm going to say fisherman's jumper with stripes. You're on. Twigs and hard soil crunch underfoot as we continue along the path. Won't be too long until we're back on the road. At the base of the hill, the road peels left across the bay. Before weaving back through the heart of the town, it runs along a wall of corrugated iron, a drab metal blister on the headland's pastoral greens. At a gap in the fence, we see dock workers passing through with clipboards and hard hats, the usual fare. Between them are glimpses of a rarer sort, at least for these parts. There's the one that brings life to the town when the big ships take anchor. A lady passes us, brown, blacks, and whites painted across her like marbled paper. Her ears are perked up like two satellite dishes as she speaks cheerily to a top-heavy man with gray-green scales. Both of them sport dark blue overalls with Liverson embossed across the front, the same emblem that marks the great freighter's hull. Still no sign of the guy we're looking for. Do you think we should go in? No, you probably need a badge or something. I reckon I could blag it. I'm not picking you up if you get caught trespassing, Joe. I don't think they mind that much, Sal. She shoots me a look that says, don't encourage him. But yeah, Joe, she's right. Best not to push it. Sal eyes her phone. He said that he was heading our way about 10 minutes ago. You can't tie that man down, Sal. You tried, Riley? I ignore him and check my phone. A picture of Ranzo beams against a blue sky at the top of the message app. His eyes are covered by large sunglasses. He's online. Sal adopts a scolding tone. It's hard to tell if she's doing it as a joke. Why can't that boy communicate? He's probably clocking out. Probably takes longer doing that here than leaving the cafe. Joe eyes Sal while taking a drag. Or folding up a laptop in your case. Or wrapping up your last fag of the day. Joe exhales, billowing thin wisps from his beak's yellow. Sir? He looks to me with a faint sense of concern. Are you okay with her using that word, Riley? Yeah. I flicked a cigarette from his beak. It sheds a trail of ash along the floor after. Fuck's sake. Thought you were trying to quit. Piss off. Joe bends down to pinch the cigarette from the floor before the wind blows it away. I've known Joe about as far as back as I can remember. Sal, too. He's a cheeky bastard, and sometimes you've got to give him some back to him. He returns with a now bent cigarette in hand. Grim. 3-second rule. I don't think that counts on a dockyard floor, Joe. From behind us, a thick voice parts the wave of industrial noise. It speaks with a confident sense of belonging, as though it were already a part of the conversation. It's similar to Joe's, but the southern tones layered on thick. It feels like a part of the land itself. The sound traces back to a broad, scruffy sea dog wearing a tender grin spread out beneath a muzzle of gray scruff. Ranzo. We all crowd in around him, arms held out. He greets us each in turn, giving us a long, tight squeeze. With his arms around me, it feels as though he never really left. His shirt smells freshly ironed with a note of lingering sea spray. He's warm and homely, and as my ears meet his shirt, I hear the pillowing of a dense hairs beneath it. You let the fuzz grow out. Yeah, you kinda need it out there. We need to take the north way around, so I'm glad to keep it. And yet, you still wearing a shirt. Told you, Riley. I was right about the stripes. It suits you, Rans. The fuzz. Yeah, it's like you're some crazy old lighthouse keeper or something. In, like, a cool way. Ranzo snorts, the hot air quivering the hairs on his snout. And you look like some mad weirdo librarian. In a cool way. Joe's laugh is as speckled with high chirps. He tries to stifle them. I think that's pretty spot on. Ranzo takes a deep breath and looks around, basking in the moment before his brows furrow. Wait, where's Billy?
He missed his train. I've told him to meet us at the chariot.
Ah, we still going now, or are we gonna have a mosey first? Plenty of time to mosey tomorrow. Let's get pissed.
We should probably get there before Billy does. Let's go.
The walk to the chariot takes us along the narrow main street. To our left, buildings are cramped together, clambering up a steep hill. On the right, little roads break off down the seafront, where wooden benches sit empty with flapping parasols bearing their venue's name. Pubs and bars are some of the only places able to hold their own in recent years, stubborn nails jutting out amongst the shops and cafes that come and go with the tide. Around half of the storefronts lay vacant, the remaining signage earmarked by boards reading "To Let," standing only to remind passerbys what used to be there. Their empty dark rooms make their broad street-side windows into ghostly mirrors. Ranzo, Sal, and Joe are walking ahead, chatting about something I can't make out. It's muffled, and I'm pacing slowly in that hazy reflection. Murky figures pass around us. The lens of the hollow room paints them in the air like smoke. They're locals and visitors alike, blended into a weaving rhythm. A brightness ripples somewhere between the gray half-formed figures and the faded glass, an amorphous streak of light. Its presence grows, flickering through the gaps in an unseeable space between. It's not a stray beam of light, it's someone else. Someone walking through the crowd with a white tail trailing after. They walk with purpose towards me. I break eye contact with myself, turning to face the approaching figure. Standing before me, it's...
Riley, you're looking kind of spacey. You alright?
I look back to the shop front. The brightness is gone. Yeah, just got distracted.
You sure?
She speaks quieter, just to me.
You know, you're a bit anxious. You've got nothing to worry about, okay?
I'm fine, really. Further up the road behind her, Joe butts in. Keep up, Riley. I'm waiting on that pint. Walking into the old chariot, our eyes take a moment to readjust to the dim surroundings. Most tables are empty, save for a few old men sat sipping room temperature ale to the tune of some old blues on the tiny speakers of the jukebox. You haven't been able to smoke inside for about 20 years, but you wouldn't know that from the air. Creaking across the floorboards, we head towards the little windowed nook, our teenage home. The chariot wasn't the best pub here by a long shot, but they never checked ID. Before we reach the nook, Ranzo stops and gestures towards the bar. First round's on me. What do you guys want?
Oh no, Ronz, you don't have to.
It's cool. I got paid this morning. What do you want? Joe doesn't waste a second. Pint of Halyard. Been a while since I had that. I'll join you. We should do the brewery tour while you're down. Sal is a little more hesitant.
Half pint. Same as.
Ranzo turns his gaze to me expectingly. I guess a pint? I'll have what Joe's having. Job's a good'un. He makes his way off to the empty bar front and starts making jovial chatter with the bar lady. Half cell? Not very festive.
It's 4 in the afternoon, Joe.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Ranzo in how long?
I'll have a proper one when Billy gets here, alright? Just go easy.
We all squeeze into the wooden benches by the window. This place was built centuries ago when folks were smaller. Joe and Sal sit opposite me, and I leave a space for Ranzo on my left. Good to be back in here, eh?
Yeah, it's got the real comfy atmosphere, hasn't it?
She wiggles from side to side as she tries to get into a position where our legs aren't bashed up against each other. I mean, yeah, there's better places, but... I perform a similar dance, trying to park myself in a well-worn spot. I think it's got its charm. We can always do something like this more often, you know. I think the last time we went out for drinks was the last time Billy was down.
Yeah, sorry. I've been really busy and...
You don't have to work that much, you know. Take a break. Invite Joe to yours instead? What does that mean? You could always come around ours, Joe. That'd be nice. Haven't seen the place since you two moved in.
Sure, just make it a day where Riley's not doing one of his evening things.
Evening things? Ranzo's heavy footsteps announce his return, sandwiching 4 glasses between 2 paws. Get these down, yeah then. Down on the table, he places 3 pints and 1/2. Cheers, everyone. We all reach across our 4 beers. As we draw them up, the edges clink and smiles bounce between us. The next half an hour washes over us, bringing with it stories from Ranzo's time at sea. They detail times aboard the ships and the ports to the far west. He's still that confident, positive spark our group. Joe's fun, but Ranzo's tone is a bit more vibrant. He sings color into stories that I imagine were actually pretty drab and dreary. Like the week where the ship's laundry broke down and they had to hand scrub their clothes. Or the time the ship's cook got sick, the stand-in couldn't do the potatoes properly. Midway through another story, Ranzo's joyful pace is interrupted by an uneven gait across the floor. Alright, dickheads. The voice is broad and confident and devoid of the logo twang. Approaching the end of the table, a toned figure sways, one hand placing a streamlined bike against the wood wall, the other holding the strap of a large sports bag. His brow furrows, but a smile forms on his lips as he slings the duffel down. Billy! The one and only.
You just brought that thing straight in?
Sal glances at the bike, then back at Billy. He shrugs. His smile slips wider. Good to see you too. My lock's at the bottom of my bag. It's not busy in here anyway.
Sure, make yourself at home.
Billy starts to reach for a stool from one of the empty tables. I'll take that one, Billy. You can sit here. Ranzo stands up and gestures to a space he leaves beside me. Billy waves a hand dismissively. It's fine. I got first class down. Joe sends a told you so look my way. Not really. It's my round anyway. What do you want? Sal interjects, edging out of her seat.
No, it's not. It's my round.
Sal pulls herself from her nook and pushes Billy's bag into it with her foot.
What do you want, Billy?
Water's fine.
Right? Everyone else?
I mean, I guess more beer. May as well get a pint now that we're all here. Sal glances between Joe and Ranzo, who both nod.
All right, 3 pints and 1 water.
Sal heads to the bar, making a point of bumping Billy's bike on the way there. Billy slides into Sal's empty spot next to Joe. Ranzo returns next to me. The old wooden bench creaks beneath us. Watching that figure, Billy? Billy grunts as he stretches a leg out of the side of the booth. I'm on holiday, but the body's not. I've got team training when I get back. Brought this with me to keep it up. Billy extends his right leg to the bicycle leant against the wall. Below the knee, his leg tapers into a curved prosthetic. It looks as streamlined and sculpted as the bicycle. Shame. Still not tired of riding around in a circle every day? What? The velodrome? Best thing about the city. Looking forward to getting back on the hills here, though. Looks like it does you good. You've gotten henched. You doing steroids on top of the regular stuff? It's all me, dude. I was going to ask if you still get people being weird about it. Sometimes, they want an easy excuse when I whip their arses in trials. Real reasons that I put more time on the track than anyone else. Surprised you got time for your course. Enough to pass, that's all that matters. With Jess around, I bet coursework's the last thing on your mind, eh? She's not around. What? As Sal approaches the table, Billy takes his glass from the tray and sips. We broke up. Oh, shit. Sal's face slumps with disappointment, sympathy as she sets down the tray of drinks.
You and Jess broke up? She was so nice.
Billy takes a long sip from his water and wipes the dew from his prickly lips. What you saw, sure. I wasn't feeling it. Kind of needy. She said I was spending too much time training. It was a choice between that and her. Billy's eyes widen with resigned indignation. So here we are. I'm sorry, man. Don't be. I'm better off. Don't give a rabbit a chance to run, I guess. Joe raises a glass towards the center of the table. Anyway, cheers to being back. The look of sympathy eases around the table and more glasses rise to meet Joe's with a clink. Cheers to being back. Nestling together in the nook makes the space between us disappear like the drinks in our glasses. Drifting between conversational currents, I bathed in the same familiar tones I've known my whole life. They've changed, some more than others, but a kernel of past selves is preserved in all of them. Ranzo rattles off another sea story, his temper rich and bright. Joe swings and leans in for all the details, his laughter still sparkling with high pitches. Billy and Sal share a back and forth over hobbies, each one of them wrestling the conversation back to their own side of the court whenever they can. When they start to talk about girls, they seem to find common ground. All of these are a smooth balm that fills in the cracks of the last 4 years. It's reassuring, if a little uncanny. It's a comfortable return to something that had only existed in memory until now. We're holding together, even if it's just by the veneer finish. And I'll happily stay floating here, floating until all the hairs on my body are heavy with the memory of this moment. As the glasses dry, we shuffle out of the pub and into the street before the harbor. Though it's approaching the evening, the dark interior has made our eyes tender. They sting in the sun, and our hands rise to shield them. The tide has risen and swept the foul smell away. The town sits in a quiet daze. Docked boats jostle with a gentle, hollow rhythm. We got plans for dinner? I thought we could go to the Shinbone after this. They do food. Shinbone's a dive. Shinbone's great. They have bands on sometimes too. Last time I went there, I got food poisoning. Pass. That was months ago. I go there all the time and it's fine. What's Shinbone? It opened kind of recently. It's like an underground speakeasy kind of thing. Sounds fun. They do burgers and stuff too. Too lowbrow for Sal. Not too lowbrow for us, though. Joe looks around indignantly. Really? Am I the only one who likes burgers here? What sort of burgers? Just cod or... Cod, haddock, plaice, all of them. It's a whole gourmet thing. Joe looks sideways to Sal. Veggie too. Though maybe that was a problem with yours. I don't trust anyone to make a burger if they can fuck up the veggie option. Anything around here less greasy? What about 115? Closed. Shit, what about the granary? Sal shakes her head. Closed. Weren't you back here in October? Yeah, but I don't eat out much. So that's why she left? Maybe tell me what isn't closed instead. Sal racks her brain, thinking of a place that does something other than takeaways that's maintained its spot in town. There's the Wheelhouse. That's way better. I'm down. Fancy that rye? I guess. I like the Wheelhouse. Haven't been in years. I look over to Joe, who still looks less than thrilled. It's fine. I just find it a bit like... If you're going out, go out. Wheelhouse is way more out than that burger place you were on about. You're just pissed off because you can't stuff your face with chips. It's fine, I'll do Willie's. I want to show Ranzo Shinbone tomorrow, though. Joe turns to me. You too, man. I can't believe you haven't gone there. Where is it again? Seriously? Shinbone? Shinbone Alley? Stupid question, really. Oh, right. Bit on the nose, really, isn't it? Yeah, like having a church on Church Street. But there is a church on... Oh, right. Great, I'll get us a table booked. Pretty sure we can just go there, Sal. It's only Tuesday. I don't think it's gonna be busy. Right. She tries to look aloof, but the tension on her back tells me that she won't be satisfied until we're all on track. Shall we head up there then? Billy taps a sports bag that he has slung around the handlebars of his bike. I gotta get this stuff to the place first. You want us to wait, or...? Nah, it's fine. I'll meet you there. We'll save you a good spot, man. Thanks, Fuck! As Billy tries to remove the bag from the front bars, the handle snags. The front wheels twist inwards, sending the bike and bag and Billy onto the floor. Unlucky. Are you okay? Ranzo stoops down to help Billy back up, but he's already up and on one foot. Get off! Billy's hand bats Ranzo away. He pushes himself up and starts untangling the bag straps. Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. He pulls the bike up to inspect it. I can't see any scrapes on the frame, but there's a graze on his knee. Sorry, man. That was good. You want a hand? No. You want a hand getting that back? I said I'm fine. They're only asking, Billy. He brushes himself down and slides the strap of his back up to his shoulder. Don't worry about it, okay? I'll meet you up there. The bike ticks along at his side as he starts to walk. The frame bounces and shakes on the cobblestones, but he keeps it on course. You doing all right there, Ranzo? Me? Yeah, I'm good. Why? He was being pretty arsey to you. He's just teasy. Doesn't like people making a fuss over him. I think his pride's hurt more than anything else. Still, he'll be fine once he gets up there. We pick up the slow pace in the opposite direction, tracing the wall of the harbor until we get to a thin, steep street. You need to drop anything off, Ron's? Nah, left everything at my bunk before getting here. You're not staying with your mom? Yeah, I will be. I just didn't want to drag it all around all afternoon. Smart. Plus, I've got the bunk either way, if I need some privacy. Privacy? I've just gotten used to having my own thing for a while now. I get that. What's it like on the ships, anyway? It's usually pretty good. You get your own room with a little ensuite and a desk. It's cozy, mind you, and some of the smaller ones there's this bathroom and a shower down the hall. So it's like either a cheap hotel or a hostel? Pretty much. The dock bunks are the same deal. Except you don't have to lash the chairs down to stop them from sliding around. I'd rather take your mom's place personally. Any plans while you're down? Well, other than seeing you lot, I'm seeing Mom and Gran. Probably seeing Eliza. The silence forms between us, broken swiftly by Joe. Fuck that, man. We're here to chill out. Ronzo's eyes follow his feet. She's sort of like my cousin. I should at least say hello. It won't just be hello with her, though, will it? You'll probably run into her either way. Just keep it light. The steepness of the climb acts as a good camouflage for my stiff shoulders and lowered posture. Yeah, no use worrying about that yet, right? Right. I mean, think about what you'd say, but yeah. Ranzo nods silently with a faint smile. He leans forward as we continue upwards. The sun is tiptoeing towards the horizon, washing the houses beside us in amber. The cool air moves in hazy shadows. The sound of shallow waves is muddied by a growing rumble behind us. Ranzo pivots to face behind us. Car coming! I turn to follow his gaze. The car is small and boxy, painted a grayish beige. A yellow taxi sign rattles on its hood as it trundles steadily towards us. Move over! Our group parts in either side of the road, flattening ourselves up against the wall on what little space passes for a pavement. It's then that I realize I've been left on my own. Joe, Ranzo, and Sal stand, shoulder to shoulder, with their backs against the opposite wall. I consider moving over to them, but the little taxi pulls itself up the bumpy road between us. Light bounces back from the windows as it struggles forward. It forces me to squint. Between blinks, I see a figure in the back seat. Their head rests on a hand, leant up with an elbow on the door. The black fingers score across a pale arrowhead on a face. Though they're smothered by sunlight, I feel the flash of two yellow eyes wrap around me. My heart holds in place, and the window and the car move past. The roar continues rising until it disappears over the hill's crest. Once we've checked there's no other cars coming behind us, we regroup on the road to carry on. Maybe I'm still cloudy from the pub atmosphere, but I feel like my movements are a second or two behind my thoughts. I'm starting to wish we took a cab up now. I'm knackered. Don't you pull ropes and stuff for a living? Yeah, but that's all upper body. It's always been too hilly for me here. Consider toned calves your welcome home gift then. Keep hauling. At the wheelhouse, soft music drifts through the speakers. The gang sits around the table, sipping on what remains of our drinks after the meal. So, you all free now, Sal? Almost. I got some changes to make for the festival before everything goes to print. I didn't know you were working on that. Yeah, they usually hire grads for it. It's been a bit of a pain, but it's a good portfolio piece. Joe sits absent-mindedly before his plate. It still holds half of a fillet of salmon and some new potatoes, which bathe in the remnants of a pale orange puree. You playing in it this year, Joe? Oh, no. It's more of a folk festival. Don't think my stuff would fit. Just put your keyboard on banjo mode. Oh no, wait. That's you, isn't it, Ranzo? Banjo man? Mandolin, but yeah. It'd be nice to play again. Maybe they still got some slots? I'm still getting redesigned requests for the flyers. I'm not updating the set list. What is it this time? They want the body text in another new font. You're joking. They want it in slab serif, which messes up all the tracking. That sounds bad, whatever it means. A waiter steps up to the table, a notepad and a few small menus in hand. Are we all good for drinks? Any desserts? There's some silent deliberation around the table before Ranzo speaks. No. I'm good, thank you. His sentiments are echoed by the group. The waiter nods politely and reaches down for our empty plates. Actually, could we grab the bill? Thanks. Sure. The waiter begins stacking the plates on one arm until he gets to Joe. Are you finished? Yeah, thanks. It was great, but I'm full. No problem. I'll grab the bill for you now. The waiter heads back towards the kitchen. Billy sips on his glass and eyes Joe. That's a lie. You're never full. I'm trying to be polite. Ranzo rubs his eyes and stretches his jaw, stifling a yawn. Tired, Ronz? His thick palms tuck under his muzzle. His fingers massage through the rough bristles of his neck. Yeah, last night was rough. Had to be on hand till 3. Up again at 8. God, that is rough. Billy affects the accent of an old fisherman. Scrubbing the decks, were ya, boyo? Well, hopefully that'll be the last of that sort of thing for a while. Ranzo's eyes travel between the rest of us. His hands unfurl and he gives them a little shake as his ears perk up. I got the promotion! The table stutters to a start. Voices overlapping in surprise. Chair legs squeak as arms. We shift in our seats.
What?
What promotion? Ranzo looks gleeful and confused all at once. The AS promotion? I texted you about it last week when we set off. The phone screen lights up around the table. I don't have a message. Nothing here. Nope. I got nothing. That's really weird. Look! Ranzo turns his phone to us. At the top of the message window, there's a picture of my younger self. I'm dressed in all black, stood in front of an old castle wall. It's an old band photo shoot. Awful. I'm sending this out to everyone, so sorry for the spam, but there's a chance I might get a promotion. There's an able seaman position going and I've been put forward. I'll know when I get back. Looking forward to seeing you guys. It's followed by a string of shorter messages. Sorry. Promotion. Going. Looking. Hope there wasn't a spelling exam as part of it. Billy eyes the message with a grin and gives Ranzo a firm pat on the back. Good on you, man. Aw, I'm so glad for you, dude. She leans over to her side and gives Ranzo a squeeze. Yeah, congratulations. Great news, dude. You want to hit the town tonight and celebrate? Ranzo's smile lapses into a yawn. I don't know. I think I need an early one. Come on, man. This is big. He's right. I'm down for a sesh if it's for this. Well... Guys, he said he's tired. He got, what, like 5 hours of sleep last night? Ranzo cricks his neck and blinks 2 bleary eyes. 4. And I'm seeing Mom tomorrow morning. Let's go out tomorrow. It's been a big day already. We can even go to that place Joe mentioned. Thanks for the permission, Sal. What? Joe's face is flat as he starts to shuffle out of his seat and dig into his pocket. Nothing. Was just suggesting something in the moment, you know? Something that's not booked in. Oh, come on, Joe. He's tired. Really, it's fine. Joe keeps his eyes off Sal as he pulls out a rolled cigarette with his lighter. His glare softens as his eyes fall on Ranzo. We can do it tomorrow. It's not a problem. Joe. It's fine. I just need a fag. He perches his thin stick in his beak and heads towards the door. He's holding his composure, but his exit is anything but graceful. Sal's head slumps in her hands. For fuck's sake. Nice one. Oh, don't, Billy. Billy takes a sip of his glass, leaving bubbles fizzing on his upper lip. He's just had a few too many. You're not wrong there. I think he's just excited, but I don't think I've got it in me for a night out now. I eye the empty seat Joe left. Sal stands up from her seat and takes a gulp of her wine. She unclips a brown, beaten-up wallet from the cord tethered to her belt loop, dropping it on the table. I need the loo. I've got cash on me, so if the waiter comes back, I'll pay for Ranzo. Aw, you don't have to do that, Sal. You're not promoted yet, Captain. Just get me a drink tomorrow. You're a legend. How are we splitting it? Everyone alright to do 5 ways with the tip? Sure. Sal does a little mental arithmetic. That should be 39 each. Maybe Shinbone was a better choice after all. Oh wait, Billy, you only had water. Nah, I'm good with that. You sure? Billy tugs at his hoodie. Grant, plus loans, plus the championship money. You haven't even done the championship yet. Bit presumptuous. Come out riding with me tomorrow and tell me if you think someone can outpace me. Dare you. Psst, no thanks. Sal turns towards the back of the room before she's interrupted. Wait, Sal, before you go. Ranzo gets up too. shifting sideways to get out from behind the table on the same side as Sal. I'm gonna head off soon. Come here.
Okay, but I really need to pee.
I won't squeeze you too hard then. Ranzo wraps his fuzzy arms around Sal's shoulders and gives him a few pats before pulling back. See you tomorrow.
See you then, Franz, and congrats again on the job.
Ranzo smiles as Sal disappears through a worn door opposite the kitchen. Right on. See you directly, Billy. Have a good ride. You too, bro. Say hi to your mom for me. Will do. As Ranzo turns towards the door, he catches my eye. Catch you tomorrow, Riley. Seeing him step away, it's just like we saw him off at the docks all those years ago. I kinda want to talk to the dog. I don't like rabbits, so bye-bye. The door closes behind him. My feet move forward to catch up. The handle of the door scuffs against a worn spot on the stone archway as I follow him out into the street. Ranzo, hold on. Caught in the amber light of the entrance, Ranzo looks back in surprise. Hey, Riley. I just wanted to say... I reach over and spread my arms around his broad shoulders. My fingertips can just about brush one another on either side. It's good to have you back. He takes a moment, but I soon feel his arms behind my shoulders. Aw, Ry, I've missed you too. After a firm squeeze, we stand back and face each other in the buzzing of the old tungsten lights bulb. I know you were sick of this place. We both turn our heads towards the town. Porthwarren glimmers below, its windows dotted in the dark like individually placed candles. I like it here. I just needed something else. There was... His eyes wander over to me before settling back on the town. A lot going on. I'm betting a lot's changed, though. You want to go for that mosey round tomorrow? Show me what's new? I don't know if it's much of a sight to behold, but sure. It'd be nice to hang out either way. I'm free in the afternoon, so... He pauses. You want to come up to Mom's tomorrow morning? If she knows you're coming, she'll definitely get the biscuits out. So that's why I'm invited? Biscuit bait? Well, it's definitely a bonus. But really, she loves you. She does. She likes your big ears. He reaches out to give one of them a pinch. I flick them back in embarrassment and stiffen my face into something more austere. You think she fancies me? Yeah, that's it. She's played the singles game for too long and she's getting desperate. We share a shallow laugh. It feels comfortably forced, then our chests deflate in silence. Yeah, I'll visit your mom. I've got nothing going on in the morning. Tell her to get the good biscuits out. The ones with the jam in the middle. Right on. I'll tell her that she's got a strapping young man coming around. I can't wait. We pause for a moment, smiling, chuckling in the light bursts. There's something calming about Ranzo's presence. He's brought home a coziness with him that's been absent for too long. Standing in the stone archway, scruffy tufts framing his kind eyes. It's... nice. Ranzo kicks himself jauntily off of the thin strip of pavement. It's been lovely to see you again, Rybread. I can't help but turn a smile whenever he says that. He's the only one who still calls me it. Turning to face the left of the archway before heading off, he gives a wave. See you directly, Joe. Ranzo strides off towards the slope, his mop-like tail swishing behind him. It's only after Ranzo points it out that I notice a smell of ash on the air and a few gray feathers on the floor. Joe's leaning against the wall about 10 feet from us. Sorry, man, didn't see you there. It's alright. You two doing something tomorrow? We're going around town in the afternoon. Wanna join? Joe finishes his cigarette and stubs it out on the stone wall. Maybe. He walks past me and pushes open the door. Oh, okay. Well, if you want to join, you're welcome. Thanks. I'll let you know. The calm music, which filled the room, has faded out, leaving it empty aside from the occasional chatter of cutlery. It's closing time. What's the scores on the doors, then? 39 each. There's an inward hissing sound from Joe's beak as he reaches for his wallet, sitting down to his pint. He slips a credit card onto the table. Once the waiter has finished his rounds, he thanks us again before he's ushered over to the only other full table in the establishment. Our drinks are either finished swiftly or left as they are as we get ready to head out. It's only 10 p.m. The town and the road are quiet. Tuesday night, I suppose. We shuffle to a crossroads, spotted in the light of street lamps. Billy sends a pebble clattering down across the thin street to our right. Right, my place is up that way.
Have a good ride tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, dude. Don't fuck up your other leg. Billy brings the sharp edge of his prosthetic around to playfully smack against Joe's shin. I'll fuck up yours first. Awesome. After some laughter and jostling from the both of them, turns up the hill to depart with a wave. See you, lads. You guys heading back to your place? Yep. You can come by if you want. Thanks, Fry, but I'm good. I get people are tired tonight. Another time.
No problem. We've got plenty of it.
Joe uses a moment of pause to light a cigarette. So, the gang's all back together, eh?
Yep. It's been too long.
You're telling me. Stray embers wander on the wind and die out. Joe's plumage shudders up with his shoulders, his feet edge to the narrow lane on our left. Well, good to see you both. See you tomorrow. Don't be a stranger.
See you then.
With a wave of his free hand, Joe exits the light of the street lamp into a bushy pathway between two houses. Oh yeah, and Riley, you still owe me a pint. Sal lets out a soft sigh, then turns onwards down the hill. You okay?
I'm all right.
Is it about Joe earlier?
Not really. I mean, sort of. He's just doing what he does. I feel bad saying it, but Joe can just be a little much when he drinks. When it came up earlier that we hadn't had him around, well, that's why.
Him and Billy can go a bit hard sometimes, but...
And that's fine. I love them both. They're fun. But remember how Joe got at your birthday?
I think back. Yeah, that was a bit much.
I just didn't want tonight going the same way.
Sorry if inviting him off the bat like that was weird.
No, you're good. It'll be nice. I just want to bear that in mind with him.
Things are okay between the two of you, though, right?
Yeah, we're fine. I'll talk to him tomorrow. He got a bit snappy, but I guess I did too. I think we're all a little bit tense about today.
Sal and I continue to walk. Our footsteps bounce between the stone walls to fill the lull in conversation. We pass under a tree overhanging from the garden of a holiday home. Above us, its branches peel back to a quilt of white speckles.
Good sky tonight.
You want to get your telescope out when we get back?
I should get an early one, really. Forecast is good for this week, so it should be like this for a while.
Thanks for setting all of this up, Sal.
It's nothing. I like working stuff out.
As we round the bend, we find ourselves in one of the town's warm pockets, shielded from the ocean air. A streetlight cuts open the shadow of the valley. The murky black is pushed aside to ensure that we're still treading the familiar paths home. In the middle of its aura, there's a flicker of white. This time, it isn't a sunbeam across a window. It isn't a reflection in a crowd. The sun has gone in, and the street is empty. The lights from the town and sky, which before shone bright, now feel faded, drowned in incandescent of two golden eyes. They're wide, surprised, sunflowers in a snowy field. His parted lips drift over a soft pointed teeth to form a smile. His brows fall from their shook and come to rest above his eyes. The creases of his linen shirt ripple out as his shoulders drop. The lone word rises, uncertain in his chest. When it escapes, it fills the space between us. Riley? I'm stunned. I didn't think I'd ever hear that voice speak my name again. I can barely bring myself to nod. It feels like I'm cast in a thick, dreamy trickle. It is you, isn't it? The silence breaks in my throat. Yes, it's me. Is that, you? As far as I can recall, yes.
I thought I'd seen you earlier. How you been keeping? I've been keeping well. I lie. Glad to hear it. I'm loving the new look. He points to my sweater. Oh, thanks. Sorry, Riley. Who is? Griff. I speak with certainty. It's Griff. Sal's eyes widen for a moment, sparked by the realization. Oh! She looks to Griff. We both move closer into the spotlight. It's good to put a face to the name. Riley's told me about you. All good things, I hope. Of course. It was a long time ago, though. You guys used to date, right? Sal! You can't just... It's alright. Yes, we went out for a while. Went out? I was in love with you. Yeah, like Sal said. It was a long time ago, so... What have you been up to? Where have you been? I sound like I'm pleading, begging to know. Well, I moved with my folks back across the pond. Finished up school, now I work. That whole path. What sort of work? Antiques, making sure that they get where they need to go. I've got some pieces on that ship in the bay, actually. Wow, that's so cool. What sort of antiques? Stupid question. Pots, furniture, all sorts of little trinkets. It's pencil pushing, really, but it lets me travel. How about you, Riley? He looks at me again with those shining eyes. I feel embarrassed, if they weren't so comforting. I just work at that cafe in town, nothing special. Nothing special. The world needs good coffee more than it needs old chairs. I know I wouldn't be able to live without it. Maybe I should swing by. What's the place? The Buoy, down on the main street. I went past there earlier. Artisanal place. Looked nice. The numbness of the shock has subsided and I can feel the urgent thudding in my chest. How long are you here for? Just a week, unfortunately. I got some engagements back home after that. We should do something, though. You free at all? He's asking if I'm free. Of course I'm free! But I shouldn't be too obvious about it. He can't see that I'm a complete fucking loser yet, so I should keep it that way. No, he already knows I'm a fucking loser. He stayed away from me for that reason. He's just being kind. Sal nudges me from behind. I need to say something. Ranzo just got back and I promised I'd do something with him. But maybe I could move something? Hey, you don't gotta cancel any plans for me like this. I'm here till the start of next week. What if he's not, though? I mean, I won't be busy all day, I'm sure. How about around 5? Works for me. Does the harbor work for you? Yes, say yes. Yes! Not that enthusiastically, you fucking moron. It's all set then. Do you mind if I grab your number? I'm being too hasty. I'm coming on too strong. Sure, He reaches for his pocket, but stops short. Shoot, I didn't bring it with me. It's a distraction on walks. He doesn't want to talk to me. But if you write down yours, I'll send you a message. He won't send me a message. Oh, okay, Sal, do you have your sketchbook? Not on me. He's going to disappear again. Shit. Hey, it's cool. We'll leave it up to fate. He's going to leave again. Don't let him leave again. I guess so. Our eyes stay on one another. The streetlight above us pulses. It's late. I best be off. Yep, come on, Rye. It was lovely to meet you, Grip. You too, Sal. We cross ways under the streetlight as we brush past one another. He speaks. 5 tomorrow, by the harbor. His smile spreads to me. I nod back. I won't forget. As suddenly as he appeared, Griff slips around the corner, his bushy white tail slinking after him. He's gone. It's dark, but it's warm. It's really warm. Did you turn the heating off the timer again? What? Climbing the stairs before me, Sal checks the thermostat in the kitchenette. A short tut punctuates the click of a dial being turned. It's been on all day, dude. Sorry, I rushed out this morning, wasn't paying attention. I wander across the living room. To be fair, I should have clocked it. Just keep an eye on it next time. In the dark, Sal leans against the kitchen counter. She turns to me as I slump down on the sofa. It was good to finally meet your ex? Yeah, that's him. I can see why you like him. He's not really my type, but he's hot. I feel my ears fall flat behind me. I look down as I start to untie my boots. Sure is. Was it, a bad thing to see him? You've been quiet all the way home. I tug at my heels and the boots come loose. No, it's good to see him. It was just... I grunt, tugging the boots off and placing it on the floor. Unexpected. Sal moves a little closer. I don't look directly at her, instead untying the other boot. All right. It's just that you seem to be doing better this evening until then. I said it before, it's just a lot of pressure with people coming back and now there's another... I pull at the laces too fast. The friction burns at the skin under my fingers. Fuck. I give my hand a shake, then press the 3 digits up to my mouth. It's bringing things back up for you, isn't it? I continue to wrestle my foot from the other boot. I'm not talking about it now. She stands across from me. There's an almost foreboding sense of understanding. It's too much. Picking up both of the boots in my left hand, I stand up. Today was good. I just got some things to think about. Okay. We stand in silence for a moment, then I give in. I pace over to her, boots in hand, and sling my free arm around her. She hugs back in a tentative grasp. You're doing good, Rye. Thanks. You too. Not that you need to hear it. Doesn't hurt to, now and then. We pull back. I continue towards my room. Night, Sal. Good night, Riley. The air is still warm from the thermostat. The bed holds me still in the dark. Though cloudy, the feelings of today are alive in my chest. I remain restless after what should have been tiring. Seeing everyone again was nice, but it doesn't feel real now. It all exists in this hazy world, just like the empty shop front window, as if it happened months ago and I'm still struggling to hold on to the details. The more I think about it, the more I realize how quickly it will pass. Ranzo will set off. Billy will finish uni and stay up north. And Griff. He'll disappear to wherever he was before. I can't blame them. I bet that Joe and Sal are looking for ways out too. They looked after me enough. I know Sal still talks to Eliza. They probably talk shit about me. I should have left when I could. Starlight bleeds through the thin curtains and picks out the edges of the things laying still. An open bag on my desk, today's clothing draped over a chair's backrest, the hands of a clock crawling slowly to 1 a.m., my boots waiting by the door. Fuck this. Pushing the warm sheets off of me, I turn to sit upright. Pulling my clothes from the backrest, I slip them on. The boots are easier to put on than they were to take off, maybe a sign that I was meant to keep them on. I make sure to put on a jacket this time. Sitting at the edge of my bed, fully clothed, an uncanny feeling still bubbling in my chest. It's time for a walk. Thank you for playing the first chapter of Dawntide. So far, this has been a solo project, but more artists will be joining the team in the future. I hope you haven't enjoyed getting to know Sal, Joe, Ranzo, Billy, Griff, and Riley. Their stories are not over and will continue to develop as the project progresses. Job. So, that was the first chapter of Dawntide. So, what are your thoughts? Did I accidentally press over something? So my thoughts are that I like the dog. No surprise there. I get a lot of vibes from other visual novel characters that I've read from the past, but I'll keep those thoughts to myself. So at first I thought that what Riley was seeing was like a ghost or something that was, like memories of his past flashing back in his head, distracting him. But it turns out that it was actually his ex-boyfriend. Well, his ex something. Who knows if the other person refers to him as his ex-boyfriend or what. But yeah. Obviously I like the dog because he's cheerful, chipper. And I don't know if this story is going to be one about him reconciling with his friends, or if it's going to turn into a dating simulator, which I will hate immensely. If there are paths, routes, or whatever, I would rather pick one with the dog because I find him the most agreeable. I suspect that he will be leaning towards his ex, though. Or like the ex will be a sort of point of contention, conflict, or whatever, if there are routes or within the story itself. And yeah. So yeah. So what are your thoughts? Write them down in, the comments and we'll discuss as we usually do. But I guess, yeah, so thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Dawn Tide yourself or stay up to date with the project, I will link down the Twitter page. I think it's the official Dawn Tide Twitter page, because I remember seeing it before it even came out and I followed them, thinking, oh yeah, another visual novel. And, but yeah, so there should be one specifically for Dawn Tide, which I will link down in the description. And it should link you to their itch.io page, which is where, you can download the game and play it yourself. And if they have any Patreon or Ko-fi or anything to help support the project, I will also link down for that. Also, I just noticed that the waves are animated. I think the clouds are animated too, or I'm having a weird moment where I'm seeing movement where there isn't movement. Is it moving? Like on the left, those clouds, are they moving or not? Anyways, but yeah. So yeah. So I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.